50 miles south of modern Baghdad, the relentless Iraqi sun beats down on a graveyard of mud brick dust. There are no soaring columns like Rome, no gleaming marble like Athens, only a desolate 2,200-acre expanse of broken earth, where the wind whistles through the ribs of collapsed palaces. It is hard to believe that in 600 BCE, this was the absolute center of the human universe, a megacity of 200,000 souls that literally invented the way we track time. Today, the ruins are so silent you can hear the grit hitting the ground, yet every time you look at your watch or check a compass, you are obeying the laws of a ghost city. How did the Gate of the Gods transform from the world's first true superpower into a heap of forgotten clay? Babylon did not begin as a titan. It began as a small, dusty port town on the Euphrates River. By 1792 BCE, a man named Hammurabi ascended the throne. He wasn't just a conqueror, he was a bureaucratic genius who understood that steel wins battles, but paper, or rather clay, wins empires. Hammurabi didn't just rule by whim, he carved 282 laws into a 7-foot-tall black basalt stele, visible to all. While we remember an eye for an eye, few realize the Code of Hammurabi was the first to establish a minimum wage for laborers and the presumption of innocence. You can almost smell the damp river reeds and the pungent scent of bitumen used to waterproof the city's growing foundations. But Hammurabi's brilliance was a singular flame. After his death in 1750 BCE, the empire fractured, eventually falling to the Hittites, who sacked the city and stole the golden statue of Marduk, Babylon's patron god. To a Babylonian, this wasn't just a theft, it was a cosmic kidnapping. For centuries, Babylon languished as a puppet state, a faded beauty held captive by the fierce warrior kings of Assyria. The year is 626 BCE. The Assyrian Empire, the most terrifying military machine the world had ever seen, is finally bleeding. A Chaldean chief named Nabopolassar seizes the moment. He doesn't just want independence, he wants the world. He razes the Assyrian capital of Nineveh so completely that 2 centuries later, when Alexander the Great marched past, he didn't even realize a city had stood there. This birthed the Neo-Babylonian Empire, and with it, the reign of Nebuchadnezzar II. If Hammurabi was the architect, Nebuchadnezzar was the titan. He transformed Babylon into a psychedelic masterpiece of blue and gold. Imagine walking toward the Ishtar Gate. You aren't seeing dull brown bricks. You're blinded by shimmering lapis lazuli glazed tiles. Hundreds of golden lions and dragons seem to pace along the walls as you walk. The air is thick with the scent of cedar wood imported from Lebanon and the roasting meats of the street stalls. Under your feet is the processional way, paved with limestone and red breccia. Every single brick in the city was stamped with a terrifying reminder: I am Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. It is here we encounter the world's greatest mystery, the Hanging Gardens. Legend says Nebuchadnezzar built them for his Median wife, Amytis, who missed the green mountains of her home. While archaeologists still debate if they were in Babylon or the rival city of Nineveh, the engineering required to pump water 75 feet into the air using a chain pump system was centuries ahead of its time. But the Babylonians were doing something even more profound than gardening. They were looking up. They didn't use a base 10 system like we do. They used base 60. This is the reason your minute has 60 seconds, and your circle has 360 degrees. They tracked the movements of Jupiter using complex trapezoidal geometry, a mathematical technique Europeans wouldn't discover for another 1,400 years. Yet, behind the shimmering blue tiles and the genius geometry, a rot was forming. Nebuchadnezzar's successors were weak, and the last king, Nabonidus, did something unforgivable. He abandoned the city for an oasis in the Arabian desert for 10 years, neglecting the New Year's festivals and insulting the powerful priests. The end didn't come with a bang, but with a whisper. In 539 BCE, Cyrus the Great of Persia stood outside the impregnable walls. These walls were so thick that 2 4-horse chariots could pass each other on top. But Cyrus was patient. He didn't climb the walls, he moved the river. Persian engineers dug a canal to divert the Euphrates, dropping the water level until it reached the thighs of his soldiers. They waited under the river gates on a night when the Babylonian elite were distracted by a massive drunken feast. According to legend, the crown prince Belshazzar saw a ghostly hand writing on the palace wall, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. Translated, your days are numbered, you have been weighed in the balances, and you have been found wanting. By dawn, Babylon survived under the Persians and briefly flickered back to life under Alexander the Great, who loved the city so much he intended to make it his capital. He died there in 323 BCE in the palace of Nebuchadnezzar, his fever-racked body marking the final end of the city's political relevance. With the rise of Seleucia, a new rival city, the population was forcibly moved. The canals that fed the lush gardens choked with silt. The blue tiles of the Ishtar Gate were stripped or buried. By the time the medieval era arrived, the Gate of the Gods was nothing more than a quarry, where local villagers dug up ancient bricks to build their own homes. Babylon is the ultimate reminder that no empire, no matter how technologically advanced or architecturally dazzling, is permanent. It was a city that dared to reach for the heavens, literally, with its towering ziggurats, only to be reclaimed by the very mud it was built from. Yet, Babylon never truly died. It lives in the way we measure our days, the way we structure our laws, and the way we dream of the city as a concept. It is the archetype of human ambition and human frailty. We are all, in a sense, citizens of a world Babylon helped build. If you found this journey through the dust of Mesopotamia fascinating, please hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the Hanging Gardens were real or just a beautiful myth? Don't forget to subscribe to join us for our next deep dive into the shadows of the past.